Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Live Chat with James, coming to you from the studios here at ProPix TV in Vancouver, British Columbia. Calls are coming through loud and clear for answers in the shooting death of a 15-year-old boy at an elementary school in the Metro Vancouver area of British Columbia, Canada. Now, this happened on a non-school day, so this did not happen during class sessions and while other students were at the school. Instead, this happened outside of the school on the property when police received a call of a youth with a gun or weapon at that location. Police arrived and they confronted the individual who was going through some type of mental health crisis at the time. And people online have reached out to have known the victim of this event and stated that he was on the spectrum. Now, this calls into question the need for more compassion, more understanding, more mental health workers, and training when it comes to law enforcement handling people in mental health crisis. Now, others that knew the victim of the shooting, the 15-year-old boy, are also stating that he may not have understood what the directions or what the police excitement was about, and whether or not he actually did have a firearm or any type of weapon has not yet been clarified from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. This calls into question the actions of the officers, and of course the internal investigations team will be handling this, as well as the major investigations of police actions are not only under the microscope once again, but so is mental health and mental health issues. Now, we've seen this throughout North America and around the world where there are people in crisis, but they still pose a very credible and immediate risk to the safety of those around them. This could have been the case here, and we don't know. As I said, there's not a lot of detail being brought out at this time as the case is still being investigated, and it is in the preliminary stages. Now, this happened last Sunday, just several days ago. So as time goes by, hopefully we'll get more clarification and more information about the situation and what happened here. We know that, as I said, there is an issue with mental health and the resources or the lack thereof when it comes to law enforcement and crime intervention. And that is where we need to understand what went wrong here, and understand where the involvement was with the RCMP, at what level, and whether it was actually the RCMP. Although being reported, Surrey, British Columbia, where the incident took place, is in the midst of a transition to a brand new police force of the known as the Surrey Police Service. So that could be a member of the new force that was involved. But again, we'll have to look into that, and I'll have updates on upcoming shows about this story and clarification as to whether it was actually an RCMP officer or a Surrey Police Service officer. Regardless, though, it just goes to show the immediate need to increase training and awareness as to how the interaction takes place with those of mental health issues. This we can go back and look at several years ago in Burnaby, another Metro Vancouver community, and that's why I bring this one up, is a Constable Yang who was stabbed and killed and such from an individual suffering from mental health illness in a city park on a wellness check. And again, it shows the fact that although there may be a mental health crisis, it does not diminish the risk to public safety or to the officers involved. With this one, of course, there is outrage that it was a 15-year-old boy who was shot and killed by police. But at the end of the day, it is regardless of age, you've got to look at what the risk was at the time and the immediacy of required actions. Now, this again is in the early stages of information coming out, so we'll keep you updated on that. There has been a makeshift memorial that's been set up at the scene for the young man who succumbed to those injuries, and it is made up of things including flowers, stuffed animals, and apparently his favorite drink was Orange Crush. So there is some cans of Orange Crush there at the memorial as well. And once again, the community is demanding answers, but it could take time for those answers to come out, and we will be watching as that happens. In other news, it's been announced down south of the border that Donald Trump is making that pen work. Excuse me. Sorry, folks. He's making that pen work overtime in the fact that he has now taken out the corruptions laws that applied to U.S.-based companies when it came to dealing with contracts and others in different nations around the globe. Now, the U.S. has been seen as a leader and a gold standard when it came to anti-corruption, anti-bribery, and that was through laws that came into effect in 1977 and have been active for decades. Now what's happened with the stroke of a pen, those all have been suspended. Not only the laws, but also to look at the implementation of the laws, the enforcement, the investigations, and those who have been convicted under those laws. Donald Trump is looking at a full review of all of those areas. This is going to be very concerning when you look at the steps back by decades that the U.S. has taken when it comes to bribery, scandal, and all of this. And we know that, for example, recently, Mr. Adani of the Adani Group, the chairperson and founder of the corporation, is one of the world's wealthiest individuals, and he is under indictment in the United States for various corrupt activities and bribery of individuals in India in order to secure new energy contracts and green energy contracts. So this is now looking like he will get a pass on that, and we'll watch and see. My apologies, folks. It is about 3 a.m. here in Metro Vancouver at the studios here at ProPix TV, and we're going to have a short live session tonight, but I just wanted to pop on and say hello, invite people to join the conversation and have some fun. Let's move to the fun part of it, because that's been some serious conversation to start the live session. But let's talk about entertainment and a lot of new shows coming out. It's that time of year where we see the introduction of new series or the continuation of your favorite shows. So by all means, let us know what your favorite TV shows are, who your favorite entertainers are, and why you enjoy them. And it could be from programs anywhere in the world. If I'm not familiar with them, I will go and see if I can find them online or on streaming services to check them out, just because I think it's really cool that we can communicate this way to make recommendations and different programs. Some of my favorite shows are still the oldies. I still like to watch some of the reruns of everything from the A-Team to Chips and, just some of those old nostalgic shows. But in terms of modern shows, I really like the Chicago series. So Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Med. Those are great programs. Of course, The Good Doctor was also a great series that was filmed here in Metro Vancouver at the Bridge Film Studios, and that show has wrapped up, so that one will be missed, but there are new shows that are coming down the pipe that'll take those places. One of the delays to the film industry rebounding in Vancouver, of course, tariffs from the U.S. come into that. Not knowing exactly how the tariffs or when and if the tariffs are going to take place, but the impact of those on the film and television production industry is also up in the air. So right now I think that a lot of studios, streaming and traditional networks, are waiting to see what's going to happen with those tariffs that are taking place. But there are other shows that are Canadian made and Canadian aired, and that includes things like Sight Unseen, which is an interesting series that's, I believe they might have just wrapped up on the second season, or they're still producing and filming that. But yeah, that's on one of the local Canadian stations and a Canadian produced program called Sight Unseen. Very good program if you get the chance to watch it, and I say that because it's a fun little show, and for more reasons than just the fact that I've done some background roles in it. So that is always cool. And that was season 1. I haven't done any background work in season 2 yet. My schedule was not in line with some of the production dates where I was requested. But again, we'll see how that plays out as it goes on. Other shows, of course, Virgin River. If you are a fan of Virgin River on Netflix, make sure you check out the latest season because there are some plot twists there and some very emotional points. Once again, another show that I've played in the background of various characters. So you might see this fat old guy in a few of the episodes, but at the end of the day, check out Virgin River if you haven't. It's a great show that's filmed here in British Columbia. It is also features a lot of the amazing scenery of the Sea to Sky area, which goes from Metro Vancouver up to Squamish and beyond to Whistler Blackcomb. So you'll get some beautiful views of the Howe Sound, of the local mountains, and wildlife, nature, all of that. So that's a good series to check out as well. Other than that, what other shows can we talk about? Excuse me. Of course, there is now the next season of Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. That is, I understand, going into production for the next season. And I believe that might be in Atlanta, Georgia, that they are filming. And I could be wrong, but I believe that is correct. But that's another series that I've actually really enjoyed. I've seen all the episodes so far and can't wait for the new season to come out. And yeah, it is a good show. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet. It seems strange to watch Sylvester Stallone on the small screen, so to speak, instead of the big blockbuster films. So yeah, it's pretty cool. With that, of course, there are other programs. Excuse me, other shows that are filmed in Vancouver, both on Netflix and Apple and Amazon, as well as, CBS, NBC, Disney, HBO. Just so much production that has taken place over the decades here in Vancouver. But right now, again, things are a little slow in Vancouver, in Toronto, and that has some impact from the threat of the tariffs. Of course, there's also issues with programs that are filmed in the the greater Los Angeles region with the recent wildfires there. So again, there are a lot of reasons that you may be delayed in watching the next season or next episodes of your favorite shows. Other than that, folks, as I said, it's going to be a short one tonight. It is late. I've just finished doing another episode of Perspectives with Angus Scott in London, England. So we've just finished recording that show tonight. It is quite late. And I am going to call it a night and get some sleep. So again, thank you for tuning in. This is James with Live Chat with James at the ProPix TV studios in Metro Vancouver, British Columbia. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. And of course, leave your comments below because I love to read them. But also, your ideas and comments could make it into future episodes of Live Chat with James. So again, take care, everyone, stay safe, and thanks for tuning in yet once again.